Hey, what's up, bro?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. I'm using the headphones, a wire headset, so
Okay.
I had to use that in the settings. I had to switch the settings. Nice setup here. This is
Thanks,
nice.
brother. Yeah, thanks for following through.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Glad I could.
Yeah. So for the viewers all around the world and the nation of America, let them know who you are and where you're from.
My name is Dwayne, and I am from New York City.
Shout outs to NYC, New York, in the building.
I'm a very big boxing fan, and actually have my own boxing page on YouTube as well. And I just love everything boxing.
For sure, man. What's the name of your YouTube?
ListonUnfiltered boxing page.
All right, y'all. Y'all heard it here. So come check my man out.
Appreciate that. Thank you
You
very
know it,
much.
brother. Oh yeah. You know how we do it.
Yes,
Hey,
indeed.
yes, sir.
Listen, I just wanted to touch on some stuff you were saying. Just wanted to add, Daniel Dubois looked really good against Anthony Joshua, but being a Joshua fan, I think that Joshua, I think he froze up because that's not Joshua. He's definitely capable of fighting better than that, and he didn't. Joshua looked like a deer in the headlights. He just was like frozen. I don't know whether it's like the magnitude of the moment or what, but he was not himself. And I'm not taking anything away from Dubois, who looked very big and strong. But
Hmm.
you have
Hmm.
to, Joshua has the power to keep him off. You got to be able to, like a guy who's a power puncher who's coming forward like a bull. You got to be able to tie him up. You got to be able to lean on him. You got to be able to make him get tired. Whereas stamina issues, Joshua was just, I don't know, like throwing an uppercut from way outside, and
Yeah.
and he was doing stuff very uncharacteristic, like he was frozen, and the ball just like steamrolled him, and then Joshua still managed to hurt him late in the fight before getting knocked out. But Joshua's kind of like he's been here already, and now it's like being a fan of his. It's sad to see that now he's back to not being talked about, back to no one paying any attention to him. He's building up that reputation back, as a killer and everything. And even after the whole Usyk fights, and now it's back to, where he was when he lost to Randy Ruiz. It's back to that again, so he's got to build up yet again. So as fans, we have to sit through this again,
Right, right,
so,
right.
he gets it right again, but he's made a career of doing this. But I like Dubois too. Don't get me wrong, I like Dubois a lot too. However, I don't think Dubois has a lot of heart. You see, like when he fought Joe Joyce, you could tell that when he was really starting to get beaten up and his eyes started really swelling, he was looking for a way out.
Hmm.
And you saw that in the Usyk fight too. Now, that was a debatable thing too, whether it was like a low blow that he hit Usyk with or a body shot. I know whatever he hit Usyk with, Usyk was hurt. He was laid out for a while. It had to be at least 2-3 minutes, if not. He just couldn't get up. He was hurt. And
Hmm.
yeah, so I don't know. I think Parker will Parker's slick. Joshua beat Parker. Joshua beat a better version of Parker, but Parker's rejuvenated himself, and now he looks like, he's on another run again. You write these guys off, and then, they show you something special, and they're right back at it. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I think he'll be too much for the ball. I think like you said, the angles, the movement, Just you can't stand it, in front of the wall too long. You have to box him. You have to keep him at range. You have to try to discourage him from coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Jab him, tie him up, left, right, move left, right, bounce around, get him tired. And I think that'll be. I think Josh. I think Parker will be able to do that. But it might be some close calls. If he gets hit too much, he can get knocked out. You get knocked
Right.
out just like Joshua did. There's always
True.
that puncher's stand.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
always that element. Always.
Definitely. Yeah. Um. So, what about the Fury Usyk rematch? What did you feel about that?
I think Usyk edged it. I do think, and I'm no Fury fan, but I'll give him credit. I think it was a little bit closer this go around. You brought up some good points about his weight. I don't know why he elected to come in that heavy again. It seems like a trend he's been doing lately. I think that might be his dedication. He doesn't seem to be devoted to coming in tip top shape. He did this for Wilder because he knows that Wilder will gas. His whole thing is tie Wilder up, lean on him, take his legs from him. So, he doesn't have to worry so much about getting hit with the right hand. He did that, but Usyk, I can't understand why he was really trying to come in heavy. You're already naturally bigger than Usyk. Usyk's naturally smaller already. I mean, you leaning on him and tying him up and stuff like that at a lower weight would have still been more than, enough. But you come in weighing what you're weighing,
Yeah, like
and
282 pounds, I think. Something crazy.
yeah, that's too much. And Usyk can go a hard 12. You know what I'm saying? Conditioning matters. And Usyk, as you can see, he was targeting that body, those body
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah. He was smart.
That starts to work against you late in the fight.
Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah. It definitely starts to catch up with you. And with Usyk, his mentality and the way he trains for that deep end. He trains for that round 6 in those championship rounds.
He,
Beyond.
he does. He does.
When you're tired and fatiguing, he's still on pace.
But you see, that's why, like, outside of like Dubois, like nobody really has tested him in terms of like a heavyweight, in terms of like making him feel like you're not a natural heavyweight. See,
Mm-hmm.
that's what Joshua was supposed to do. Joshua
Yeah.
instead tried to box with him, which turned into a big mistake. He didn't have the type of success. You got to go out there. You got to go pressure him. You got to get to his body. You got to make him feel like the smaller guy. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Hit him with these big heavyweight shots. I'm not saying you're going to hit him with everything, but you trying to sit and box with him, that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You got to
Yeah.
try to cut the ring off. You got to try different things. Hitting him everywhere. Hit him on the shoulder. Hit him to the body. Hit him where you can. But those blows accumulatively will start to show up later in the fight. But like even like I said, when Joshua fought him, Josh was trying to box with him, and that was a monumental mistake. And in the second fight, he tried to be a little bit more aggressive, and he had a little bit more success, but still like wasn't enough.
It
I
wasn't enough.
mean,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't enough. Derek Chisora, I think, had some moments against Usyk for a little bit, trying to pressure him and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't know. And then you gotta have stamina. That's another thing. You gotta have stamina to keep it up. Like I said, he can go a hard 12, so it can't just be 1-2 rounds of it. It's got to be steady. You got to steadily wear him down, wear him out. I don't know if there's any heavyweights who, who would really be a good fight for like Usyk, but he's nowhere in the rankings like that. But that Cuban, um, Frank Sanchez,
France chance. Yeah.
yeah, but I haven't even heard anything. I don't know what he's doing, but style wise, weight wise, hand speed, foot speed, he can match that. He would be more like a cruiserweight in size. Tuesday, they match up good, but he's not anywhere. I'm speaking hypothetically. He's nowhere in the conversation. I don't even know the last time he fought. I don't even know what he's ranked, but I'm just talking from a stylistic standpoint now. But
Right.
yeah.
And I'll tell you who else may look decent against Usyk because he's about the same size. I mean, as far as weight, he's taller. But Wilder, even though Wilder is not a great boxer, something about his awkward style, it could be problematic for Usyk.
I heard you say that. I don't agree. I'll tell you why. Because Wilder's at a point now where Wilder's gun shy now. Like if you look at Wilder's last few fights, Wilder's afraid to throw his right hand now. When he got knocked out in his last fight, he doesn't know what to do anymore. Now he doesn't have that killer instinct anymore now. See, Wilder before, we knew that he couldn't box. We knew that, he had this big right hand and if he hit you with it. But now even that is gone. He doesn't even throw it like he should. You got to have people, expecting it, worrying about it. He's not at that point anymore.
Right.
And he doesn't have any boxing skills to fall back on. It's a sad thing what happened to Wilder. It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing because Wilder, had he learned some more fundamentals about the sport, a little bit better with his boxing skills, he could have really been something really, really special. But to get as far as he did with just his right hand and athleticism and a killer instinct, it was more than enough to sell that, But he had a lot of success though. I'm not marginalizing him. I'm not. He had a lot of defenses of his title when he had it. He would fight anybody. I mean, look at what he did to Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz was like a heavyweight boogeyman. Nobody wanted to fight Ortiz. He fought him twice. Proved that even though you got superior boxing skills, I'll knock you out. I need one. Boom. Twice. Luis Ortiz was no joke. Nobody wanted to deal with Luis Ortiz. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody wanted to deal with him. And I thought that was admirable of Wilder. I'll fight him. But you think Wilder's you think he's gonna make another comeback? You think so?
I think he'll do it. I think he's gonna, depending on his opponent next. I don't think he wants to go as dangerous as a Parker or Zhang. He might want to do somebody like let me think of a good prospect. Maybe Caballero, but he's got skills, so he might even be a problem for Wilder. Trying to think of somebody where he can get a little confidence, but it's not a cakewalk.
To go to Adrian Broner. He might have to go to Adrian Broner route. Go really low. Find somebody to look good against at this point. Just somebody that you can knock out.
I'll tell you who he'll fight. Who he didn't fight a long time ago. He should fight Charles Martin.
Oh yes, that would be good. That one. Charles Martin's on the way out too. Friend of mine on Facebook too. Yeah, friend of mine too. Yeah, that would be a good fight. Charles Martin had what was his last fight against Anderson? I think Jared.
Yep.
Jared Anderson.
Ortiz And then Anderson. His
Right.
baby Anderson. Yeah.
Yeah. That was he had his moments with
Hmm.
Anderson too.
He
He can
did.
box. He just
Good job. He gave Ortiz issues.
right. He did. You know who's really dangerous though? And they got to fight now. Bacoli.
Yes.
He's a monster. This
Very
guy, man.
much. Yeah.
He is a monster, man.
Yeah, he's a force, man. Yeah,
Yo, I
man.
didn't think
McCauley
anybody would
is.
do that to Jared Anderson like that, man. I didn't. I was shocked, man. It was like nothing he hit this guy with was phasing him. And they were talking about, well, yeah, he's from Africa and he's seen this and been through that. And then you factor all that in, and it's like, yeah, this is just a boxing fight. This ain't nothing to him. You know, this
Right.
is nothing. He's in probably tribal wars and stuff back in Africa
Hmm.
and things like that. Seeing his people die and stuff. So this is it's nothing. Now he
Yeah.
knows he's got to
Yeah. His
get a chance to
mentality.
get the money. Yeah. And he's
Yeah.
tough. And
Yeah.
he's like a wall, man. You know, he's gonna wear you down. He's gonna wear you down and he's a tough to outbox too.
Mm.
He has like one loss. He has one loss. But it wasn't by stoppage. It was
Michael Hunter.
yeah, right. Michael Hunter. Michael Hunter beat him, and they're supposed to have a rematch.
And I know another good opponent for Deontay Wilder
Ooh.
is Dillian White.
Dillian White's wanted Wilder for a long time.
He's a scrapper. You know, he likes to brawl. He likes to, so that'd be a good one.
White is on the downside now. That would kind of be good. It would be about time. Better late than never.
Yep.
Better late than never, yeah, that's not a bad one. But would Wilder want to do it?
Right.
That's the whole thing. And then Wilder, I think me and you talked about this before, there was a lot of people saying that, Joshua was ducking Wilder. But these same people fail to realize that there were like, 2 or 3 offers sent to Wilder's camp. And he turned them all down. How do you turn down a $50 million, a 2-fight deal for $50 million? I think it was.
Oh, the $100 million.
It was $100 million.
The zone deal.
Yeah, it was something like that. It was very lucrative, and Wilder turned it down. And I'm thinking, well, how is it you're ducking somebody, but you're trying to get them to fight, but they won't accept the deal? This is like the mind of boxing fans. Like, oh, well, Joshua doesn't want any parts of him. But you got to really look into these things. It was Wilder that didn't want these fights.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And these boxers, what they do, see, this is a reason why the sport is kind of like going through a transition now, is because you have boxing fans who want to see the best fight the best, but you have these fighters now that play the politic game. That I want to make as much as I can. I'm gonna if he's too dangerous for me to fight him, and you want me to fight him, you're gonna have to pay me. So now I'm gonna cash myself out. It has to be something outrageous where they're not gonna want to pay it, and then it's like, oh well, the fight's just not gonna happen. The end. It's over. Negotiations fell apart. Oh well, we were pretty close. We were 75% there. And then it just couldn't get it done. Yeah. And then these fights just don't happen. It just don't happen.
Yeah.
All the time, I mean, countless times. I mean, we can go to, I talk about this all the time, like Pacquiao and Floyd. The two of them should have had a trilogy. And it should have been from years ago. They shouldn't have fought in 2015. They should have fought back 2009, 2010. They could have had a series of fights, and then the boxing fans would have been happy. We got Marquez and Pacquiao 4 times. Not saying I was disappointed with that. Those were great fights, but And then when the fight eventually happened, it underwhelmed. Like it wasn't what people wanted to see.
Mm.
Floyd just easily won. Pacquiao, supposedly had an injury and stuff. But these fighters, they do it all the time.
And you
Spence
know
and
what,
Bud.
bro?
But
It's like, don't get me wrong. I understand